Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here, coming at you with another deck profile. Today is going to be Lightsworn. I have a few other kind of cool engines thrown in there to kind of make it very combo-centric kind of. I was actually looking into doing more of like just a pure go second Lightsworn deck, but this one is definitely more combo-oriented, and it can put up some pretty awesome boards and destroy a lot of boards as well. So that's just kind of the draw to a deck like this, is it can easily get rid of boards and also put up some pretty cool stuff going first. Nothing like crazy like shut down your opponent completely, but it is some cool stuff. So if you guys haven't already, go and subscribe. Hopefully any day now we should have the ban list, and I will be doing budget deck list for hopefully the new format when that comes out. So let's get right into this one. Starting off, as you saw, we do play Judgment Dragon. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm obviously in the group who loves it because you can summon more than once per turn. You can use its effect more than once per turn to pay 1,000 life points and destroy all other cards in the field. You just have to have obviously just 4 different Lightsworns monsters with different names in your graveyard, which is very easy with the extra deck, and obviously with your main deck as well. So it's more or less just a free monster on board, free big body to just destroy everything your opponent has. And then next card we play 3 Lumina. The main reason for playing 3 of her is she's a decent normal summon. You discard a card and you can target one level 4 or lower Lightsworn in your graveyard and special summon it. So you can special summon herself and then use her effect again. That's really nice. That's the main reason I play 3. And also we play some cards in the extra deck that you will see that make playing more of her, specifically because she's level 3, even better. And then we play 2 Raiden. I've played him at 3. I really contemplated playing him at 3 in this version, but I ended up with 2 because you don't. That's the main problem with this deck, is drawing too many normal summons and just not having any plays other than normal summon a Raiden and hope his effect goes through. So that's why we're playing 2 of him. He is good. You just send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. He'll gain 200 if you send a Lightsworn monster. But he's also a tuner, so he's a level 4 light tuner. He's also a warrior. But yeah, so he's good. Just I didn't really want to play him at 3. One that we definitely have to play at 3 is Wolf. He's just too easy to get him on the field. Just if he's sent from the deck to the graveyard, you just special summon it. Doesn't matter when. It could be during the end phase. He's 2100 attack. He can't be normal summoned. That's obviously the only problem with him. Otherwise, he's absolutely amazing. And then the other one like him that we play is Felice. Felice is another one, can't be normal summoned. It has to be special summoned by a monster effect, basically. Because if it's sent from the deck to the graveyard by a monster effect, you just special summon it. I like her kind of second effect. You can tribute this card, target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, then send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So that could potentially help you get, more Wolves on board, or heck, even another Felice. But it's also just getting rid of an opponent's card as well, very easily. And she's also a level 4 tuner. You can play it at 1 if you're worried that you potentially won't get her effect off, because she does have to be sent by a monster. But I like it at 2, and it's worked out very well. And then we play just 3 dangers, not the real good ones. Actually 3 Mothman. He is decent enough, especially in a deck like this. Because if he's sent to the graveyard or discarded, you can have both players draw a card and discard a card. He's also level 4, so easy access for going into Minerva. That's basically the main reason I'm playing him, and we do want some darks as well. And then some more extenders that we play along with the dangers. 2 Goblinberg. I contemplated this one or Photon Thrasher, just as a nice extender, level 4. Ended up with him. Just like I said, if you have, too many like Raidens or Luminas, it might be nice to just be able to get Goblinberg out, go into a Raiden, go into, it kind of gets your plays going. As long as his effect goes through, you'll have just a nice level 4 extender. So that was my thinking with that. Play the Performage engine, Damage Juggler, 1 Hat Tricker, and 1 Trick Clown. This is what I have right now. Potentially might up this up to 3, but I think this is working good right now. You banish the Juggler to add one of these. Usually it's going to be Hat Tricker because you can special summon Hat Tricker if there's 2 or more monsters on the field. So just a free level 4 extender. And if Trick Clown is sent to the graveyard, you can then just special summon him or another Performage, and their attack and defense become 0, and you take 1,000 damage. But again, just a really nice level 4 extender. And then the cool little engine that I decided to throw in here is Phantom Knight's engine, playing 2 Silent Boots and 1 Ancient Cloak. You could do 1 and 1, again, if you're worried about potentially drawing more, but this is the one you would want to see in your hand, because if you control a Phantom Knight's monster, you can special summon him. And then you could also banish him from the graveyard and add a Phantom Knight spell and trap from your deck to your hand, so that's why we play 2 of him. And then Ancient Cloak, if you have both of these, normal summon this, and then you can special summon Silent Boots. But then you can banish this from the graveyard to add a Silent Boots. So they both work really well together. They're warriors, so they're searchable by reinforcement of the army, and they're level 3s, which all comes up. I'll show you some cards later. They play 1 Black Dragon. We play more lights than darks, so he's obviously very easy to get out. And the White Dragon is still fairly easy to get out, because we do have, a few darks that we play. And then we play 2 Black Luster Soldier. Like I said, I think we have enough darks to still be able to get him on the field when we want to. And then having a Judgment Dragon and a Black Luster Soldier, that's just a really powerful, 2 cards right there that you just easily get on the board. As long as you were able to mill, a decent amount, you should be able to get both of them on the field, and that's a lot of damage. So that is it for the monsters that we play. Again, feel free to adjust the ratios as you find necessary, but I have found that works pretty well. And the best spell card for Lightsworns, hands down, Charge of the Light Brigade. You send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then you add a level 4 or lower Lightsworn from your deck to your hand. So it does absolutely everything you want. If you open this and Solar Recharge, you're going to be doing a lot, because so you activate Charge, and then you can activate Solar Recharge by discarding that Lightsworn that you just drew, and then you draw 2 cards and send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So both these cards, with all the Lightsworns we play, usually, especially Solar Recharge, is going to always be live. Charge is always live, but Solar Recharge is really nice with our, like I said, with our Lightsworn count that we play. That's the main reason we're playing a little more heavy on the Lightsworns, because this is just an amazing card. And then, since we are milling a lot, you're going to have a lot of monsters in the grave, so this should seem fairly obvious. I did just go with 2. I really wanted to keep the deck at 45. I don't know why, but you could definitely add a 3rd one if you feel you're going to have this live most of the time. But I thought 2 was perfect. You just target 5 monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them in the deck, and then draw 2 cards. So it replenishes your deck if you're getting low, and obviously it's amazing draw power. So, and we also, kind of an interesting tech that I'm playing is Monster Reincarnation. Discard a card, and you target 1 monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So potentially, if you open up, I don't know, a lot of, let's say your hand is 3 wolves and a Felice and then a Monster Reincarnation, and you have something in the grave, you know, that you could potentially normal summon, like a Lumina. You could always activate Monster Reincarnation, get rid of the wolf to add Lumina. You know, so it could potentially fix hands that are unplayable, make them a little more playable. Or if you happen to mill like a Black Luster Soldier or a Judgment Dragon, and you obviously want them in hand, you could always ditch a card from your hand and add one of these to your hand. So most of the time it is very decent. You know, very rarely is it not good. So, and then card destruction, you know, just getting cards to the graveyard and then redrawing is nice in a deck like this. Just loading up your graveyard. Monster Reborn, again, you have monsters in the grave, so summoning them very easily. Reinforcement of the Army, searching Goblinberg, Raiden, and then your Phantom Knights monsters as well. So very nice card in this deck. And then Foolish Burial, the most broken card in this deck. You just send any card you need to the graveyard. And then for the traps, because we play in the Phantom Knights engine, I decided to go 2 Fogblade, just for a really nice negate. And then you can also banish this from your graveyard and target 1 Phantom Knights in your graveyard and special summon it. So that is nice as well, if you happen to mill it. And then the last one we play is a Shade Brigandine, just for another extender, a level 4 extender. It's nice to have, and you can activate this the turn it was set if you have no traps in your graveyard, and these are the only traps you play. So obviously if you have one of these in your graveyard, you can just banish this, and hopefully special summon a Phantom Knights, and then you can activate Shade Brigandine. So I found that 3 is the perfect amount. You could always do 1 and 1 if you want to keep your deck count a little bit lower. But yeah, I've never minded drawing one of these. So yeah, that is the main deck. Again, we stuck with 45. And then the extra deck, most important level 4 is my Nerva. As long as you can get to her as quickly as you can, she just requires 2 level 4s. You send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. You can draw cards equal to the number of Lightsworns that you sent to the graveyard. If this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. And if any were Lightsworns, you can destroy that many cards on the field. So she just has a lot of really good effects. Like I said, you just really want to go for this card as quickly as you can. And we have a lot of cards to enable us to do that. Dugaris, again, just kind of the main effect you're going to be using is draw 2 cards and discard a card. Again, getting cards to your hand and getting cards to the graveyard is really all this deck wants to do. So that card is very good. Dante, if you have 2 Luminas on board, sometimes you'll want to just go into a Dante and just mill 3. You're not really going to be able to do any other effects with him. But yeah, milling 3, obviously in a deck like this, could potentially get you a lot of really good cards. Playing a Leviair, again, we can make rank 3s fairly easily because we do play a lot of level 3s. And special summoning one of those banish monsters, because we will banish a little bit with this deck, is kind of nice sometimes. And then we can also synchro summon with this deck. So going first, level 7 would be Dawn Dragster for a spell trap negate. And then Michael, the Arch Lightsworn, you can pay 1,000 life points, target a card on the field, and banish it. So that's nice. Most of the time why I'm making him is to get another Lightsworn in the grave for potentially like Judgment Dragon, or just another body on board. Kind of nice to have that. And then going first for our level 8s, got Omega, just ripping a card out of our opponent's hand. He's also a light psychic type, so say you need a different monster type to go into, like you're curious. Sometimes you can make him, so that's an option. And then 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend for going second. You can just destroy as many special summon effect monsters on the field with attack less than or equal to this card's, and then you inflict 500 damage for each monster destroyed. So he could potentially get some good damage and just good destruction on the board. So that's the synchros we're playing. Again, play any level 7 or level 8 synchros that you're comfortable playing. And then the last of the cards are going to be our links. And one of the most important ones is Curious. You just need 3 monsters with the same attribute, but different types. So most of the time that's going to be light attribute, and then, different types for those. But this card is absolutely amazing. You can, when this card is link summoned, you just send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. And if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, so you can do that off of her own effect, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So a lot of times what I find I'll do is, with her effect, I will send Felice, and then hope that I hit like a wolf or something on those other 3 cards that I mill. And then you can go into her, and then go into like a Minerva, or go into Synchros. So yeah, really, really nice card. Another one we're playing, Cherubini. Just requires 2 level 3s, and the main effect, the only reason you're playing him, is you can just send 1 level 3 monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then you'll target him, and he gains attack and defense equal to that card. So it'll get, basically send whatever you need in the grave. A lot of times it's going to be one of the Phantom Knights monsters so that you can get a negate or another extender. But yeah, really cool card in this deck that we can make fairly easily. And then another one, Saryuja. Again, getting cards to your hand, drawing, and being able to special summon from your hand. This card is just really, really good. Definitely play it in this deck. And the last cards are just board breakers for going second. Nightmare Cerberus, destroying monsters. Nightmare Phoenix for spells and traps. And these also all discard when they're using those effects. And then Unicorn for just shuffling a card into the deck. So yeah, that is the deck, guys. Hope you like it. It's been a little bit since I made a Lightsworn deck. It's a deck I really like playing, especially online. It's really fun to play this, a deck like this online. So if you guys like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.